Welcome to Jamaica Magazine, where we explore the issues that matter most to the nation. Today we look at the vital work of our social services and celebrate the successes of our thriving tourism sector. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Stay with us.
Washing your hands properly can help keep you and others safe. Remember to wash often, especially before eating or touching your face.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, January 30, 2025. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness is appealing to law-abiding citizens in Spanish Town to not support gangs that have been wreaking havoc on the town. He made the call while on a housing delivery in Westmoreland, courtesy of the government's new social housing program. Mr. Holness spoke against the background of the recent unrest in Spanish Town, sparked by the killing of an alleged gang leader by the police.
There is a sense, and we have seen it displayed publicly, that somehow the gangs are protectors of the community or are your friends. The gangs are not your protector. They are not your friends. They are using you.
The Prime Minister also highlighted that infrastructural developments taking place in the old city could be derailed by gang activities, even as he assured residents that government's plan is not to target and harm communities in pursuit of the gangs.
The strategy of the government is to separate the gangs and criminals from the community and law-abiding citizens. I take this opportunity to appeal to the law-abiding citizens of Spanish Town not to support the gangs, not to be enlisted in their activities.
Information Minister Senator Dana Morris-Dixon says the government is discussing recent foreign aid and immigration developments in the United States and their potential impact on Jamaica. In addition to more intense crackdowns on illegal immigration, days after U.S. President Donald Trump took office on January 20, he ordered a global freeze on foreign aid for 90 days to allow for a review. This move threatens billions of dollars of funding from the State Department and the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, for programs worldwide. The USAID has been investing in Jamaica for more than 60 years, supporting health, environment, education, and citizen security. During Wednesday's post-cabinet press briefing at Jamaica House, Dr. Morris-Dixon advised that this was on the agenda of the National Security Council when it met last Thursday.
And they were looking at these matters, and so we have not been, ignorant of them. We've been looking at them, we've been assessing them. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has been in constant dialogue with our U.S. partners.
She says the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith, will provide further updates in short order.
We've been looking at these matters and developing positions in relation to our response to them. And the Minister will be giving further updates in very short order.
Jamaica's import bill for the first 9 months of 2024 was cut by 4.2% compared to the same period the previous year. The data was revealed by the Statistical Institute of Jamaica earlier this week in its International Merchandise Trade Bulletin. Statin reports that for the period January to September 2024, Jamaica's total spending on imports was valued at $5.52 billion. This compares to $5.76 billion spent in the comparable period in 2023. According to Statin, this decrease was attributable to lower imports of raw materials and intermediate goods, along with fuels and lubricant. At the same time, the country earned $1.36 billion from total exports, 10.8% below the 2023 figure of $1.524 billion. This was due primarily to a 57.8% reduction in the value of re-exports, which was valued at $150.9 million during the review period. However, domestic exports from January to September 2024 saw an increase of 3.7%, totaling $1.2 billion. The five main import trading partners for the period were the United States of America, China, Brazil, Japan, and Colombia. The top five destinations for Jamaica's exports were the USA, the Russian Federation, Iceland, the Netherlands, and Canada. The Ministry of Education is reporting that it has not identified any incidents of the strawberry quick drug in Jamaican schools. The drug, of which there have been reports in other countries, is reportedly methamphetamine with strawberry flavoring and red food coloring added to presumably make it more appealing to children. But Education Minister Senator Dana Morris-Dixon says there have been no verified reports of strawberry quick in Jamaican schools. Still, she is urging parents to have open conversations with their children about the dangers of accepting food or candy from unknown sources. Schools are also being advised to reinforce these messages and to report any suspicious activity immediately. At the same time, Dr. Morris-Dixon says the ministry will continue to actively monitor and work closely with law enforcement and school administrators to ensure the safety of students. Parents and students are encouraged to not accept unfamiliar candies or treats without knowing the source, report suspicious substances immediately to school officials or the police, and seek immediate medical attention if ingestion is suspected. Well over 220,000 tests and counting have been done for Jamaicans accessing the Ministry of Health's Know Your Numbers initiative. This represents 44.1% of the targeted 500,000 tests planned to help citizens identify their risk of chronic diseases and to refer those with adverse results for further tests and treatment. Minister of Health and Wellness Dr. Christopher Tufton made the revelation in a presentation to Parliament on Tuesday. He says the ministry is keen to further progress the initiative as it tackles the non-communicable diseases (NCD) problem facing the country.
The implementation of these strategies is expected to increase screening participation to achieve the target, enhance adherence to follow-up care, and ultimately contributing to public health outcomes nationwide vis-a-vis the NCD reduction.
Thus far, 29,095 blood cholesterol tests have been conducted, 65,331 blood glucose tests, 78,854 blood pressure tests, 51,359 body mass index checks. Of the total 220,639 screenings conducted, 66.3% were females and 33.7% were males, representing a 2-to-1 female-to-male participation ratio.
The ratio is consistent with the overall male-female health-seeking behavior pattern. When broken down by NCD risk factor screens, for females represent the majority, accounting for some 66% of blood pressure, 67% of blood glucose, 68% of blood cholesterol, and 64% of BMI.
Dr. Tufton reports that 32% of all tests done showed abnormal results, most related to blood pressure and body mass index, BMI. And finally, this year's celebration of Reggae Month is to focus on honoring the icons who built the timeless genre, amplifying the voices shaping it today, and invest in the stars who will carry it into the future. Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport Olivia Grange unveiled the focus and 2025 theme, Come Catch the Rhythm, in a statement to Parliament on Tuesday. Activities begin on February 1 with a tribute to the Crown Prince of Reggae, Dennis Brown, at the National Heroes Park. A Reggae Month church service will be held on February 2, and one of the month's highlights, the Bob Marley Tribute Concert, booked for the 6th, will celebrate the 80th anniversary of the legendary icon's birth.
An impressive list of performers will take the stage, with headliners being Skip Marley, grandson of Bob Marley, Sidella's son, and Bob Marley's son, Julian Marley. And the entire Marley family is expected to be there, including the matriarch, Rita Marley.
As part of concerted efforts to ensure Reggae Month events are not just concentrated within the corporate area, a number of events are planned for the West. These include the Waves One Love Music and Jerk Fest, scheduled for February 7 to 9, and Love at Woodstock, Negril, on Valentine's Day. The Island Music Conference will be held on February 20 to 22. Dub Squad Music's Tuesday service is on February 25, and Dancehall Week will close the celebrations from February 23 to March 2. Other key events during the month include the Reggae Open University, the Jamaica Music Museum's Groundation Lecture Series, Jaria's Reggae Wednesday Concert Series, and the Reggae Gold Awards on February 28, where Marcia Griffiths will be honored.
When we will be presenting her with the prestigious Icon Award, and she will have a special performance backed by an orchestra led by John Williams.
Persons are reminded to download the Reggae Jamaica app for detailed events and activities, as the schedule is subject to change. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
Jamaica's population is aging rapidly. Over 350,000, or 13.2% of Jamaicans, are senior citizens. These individuals deserve our care and respect. Very often, our senior citizens are neglected, disregarded, and disrespected. It's time to act. A special select committee of the Senate is reviewing a motion proposing the creation of an Elderly Care and Protection Act to better safeguard the rights and dignity of our senior citizens. We invite you to share your suggestions and recommendations about what should be included in this act. Send your submission in writing to Clerk to the Houses, Gordon House, 81 Duke Street, Kingston, or email clark@japarliament.gov.jm. The deadline for submissions is February 15, 2025. Let's work together to protect and create a more inclusive and supportive Jamaica for our senior citizens.
Across Jamaica, countless families call informal settlements home. Today we'll explore how the government, through its Social Services Agency, is working to regularize these communities while ensuring a safer, more dignified living environment for all.
Hi, my name is Trudy Parchment and I am the Acting Director of the Social Services Unit. Okay, well, the Social Services Unit deals primarily with the divestment of residential housing solutions for properties owned by the Minister of Housing. And let me expound on that a little bit for you. So we market or sell, that's the whole divestment process, to persons who have informally settled on lands owned by the Minister. We like to call those brownfield sites, and to greenfield areas where there are vacant lots, and that's open to the public. If you look at Vision 2030, it has some of its guiding principles with people being at the center. So if we're selling and we're selling land, we're selling to people. And so for us, we are directly aligned to Vision 2030. We are offering tangible products to persons across Jamaica. So the tangible products we just spoke about. In the sale or the divestment of land, we offer certificates of title. Now, one thing I did not mention earlier is that the Social Services Unit is also the investigating arm under the Social Housing Program that for many Jamaicans, they would see our Prime Minister cutting the ribbons. Now, this modality offers building grants. So the social services unit, the officers, namely the compliance and investigations team, would go out. We would investigate based on requests to the ministry. And from there, a recommendation is made. If you are successful, then you would receive a building grant. So that's a tangible product that we offer as well. Divestment can be a very lengthy process. And case in point is that the ministry or the social services unit know we have been marketing or divesting to a lot of, we have been upgrading and regularizing a lot. Earlier, I think in the last 2 weeks, we would have heard our Prime Minister at a recent contract signing speak to the plans. So the social services unit would have been that particular unit that would be executing on behalf of the minister as relates to that plan. So what we would have achieved is that we would have been over time, or over the past 3 years, we would have been, let me see how do I put this now? We would have been regularizing more than 200 persons across schemes, right island-wide. So I'm going to give you a few examples. Whilst the marketing process would have started many years ago, we were able in the last 3 years to regularize a relocation site out in West Albion in St. Thomas. We have been making significant strides out in Windsor Heights in St. Catherine. We have also been making significant strides in Canaanites in Clarendon. So over the past 3 years, we would have been regularizing and divesting to persons, and persons would have been receiving certificates of title. So conversely, on the social housing program side, that is the building grant modality, we would have assisted approximately 160 persons with almost $100 million. That simply means that we are helping Jamaicans every day to get over their maintenance issues, just to improve on their homes and to make them feel better about themselves. So the social services unit, through its services and programs, is helping to improve the lives of Jamaicans. Well, based on the directive and edict from our Minister of Housing and the Prime Minister, or should I say Prime Minister and the Minister of Housing, we will be doing more. We will be taking on more regularization projects, which simply means that we will be issuing more certificates of title. So it's more, we'll be reaching to communities more. We'll be going out into the space more. So I expect each and every Jamaican who is living or residing on lands owned by the Minister of Housing, just sit tight because we're coming to you. So the government of Jamaica, through the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, is empowering Jamaicans by providing security of tenure and improving the lives of the most vulnerable.
Living in Jamaica is an experience that you cannot put in words. There's an energy in the atmosphere that just feels good. There are so many aspects of Jamaica that I think makes it second to none. The best food, the best music, the best people. We can go on and on about the good things about living in Jamaica. There's a parish in Jamaica called Portland. I think that's one of my favorite places to be. It's one of the most nature-oriented parishes, and I love the nightlife in Kingston. Once you come here and you get that connection with the people, that connection with the food and the music and just the lifestyle is something that you'll always remember. People should visit Jamaica because I'm sure 100% that it is the place to be on planet Earth. You need to come here and you will get an experience that you will never forget.
Jamaica's tourism sector is experiencing a remarkable resurgence. Join us as we analyze the key drivers of this success and uncover exciting possibilities that lie ahead.
Welcome to Get the Facts, the program that provides you with information on the latest topics. I'm Theodore Henry. 2024 was an extraordinary year for tourism in Jamaica. From record-breaking arrivals to innovative policies and initiatives, our island continues to shine as a top global destination. Now, here to speak on how the government is working to strengthen our position as the Caribbean's premier destination and much more is Minister of Tourism Edmund Bartlett. Welcome to Get the Facts, Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Henry.
All right, let's jump right into it. Now, numbers and figures. The island's forecast for 2024 was 4.58 million visitors, 9.6% increase in earnings. We're talking like about $4.38 billion. So by any stretch of the imagination, the sector is performing very well. Do I have that right?
Well, you have it right from the point of view of the performance of the sector in terms of the actual outturn for 24 against projections. We are below that because of 6 months of disruptions, led by burial, and then we had the supply chain disruptions as it affected aviation in particular. So we had 68,000 less seats into Jamaica, which meant that there was a natural reduction in the projected arrivals. And then, of course, there was issues, geopolitical issues like travel advisories and so on and so forth, which impacted us. So we had that, but tourism, as you know, is resilient. And notwithstanding those disruptions, we are coming out of the year with a small increase in arrivals. But the earnings is in line with what we projected of the 4.3 billion. We will have 4.3 billion, but we'll have 4.2 something million visitors instead of the 4.5 that we had projected.
Right. Now, Minister, the Jamaican public does not know you as a man who rests on his laurels, right? So we meet this figure, we meet that figure, we exceed that figure. You're always seeming to push the industry further. What plans are?
So exactly. Yeah. So for winter now.
Okay.
And winter begins essentially 2025.
Sure.
January 2025. This projection for this winter will be the strongest that we've had. And that's based on the number of seats. We go back to aviation because that's the heart of it.
Got to get here.
Island state.
Right.
That's what we use to get here.
Right.
And so we have 1.6 million seats for this winter, the largest amount ever. Assuming an 80% load factor, that is to say, the plane is coming 80% full.
Right.
We would bring 1.3 million visitors in that space, and that's a 12.9% increase over last year. So the winter is strong. The income from that, of course, goes in line. Winter is the strongest period for earnings in tourism.
Yes.
The ADRs are the highest during that period. And so we anticipate a very strong first quarter of 2025. And that will set the pace for the rest of 25, providing, of course, there aren't any other weather, mainly weather distractions and disruptions, as we call it.
Yeah.
But the key in all of this is that you build capacity to respond effectively to disruptions.
Yeah.
And that's resilience. And that's what has become a guiding principle for tourism management in Jamaica, resilience. You remember I established the Global Tourism Resilience and Crisis Management Center at the University of the West Indies in 2018. And that has been, a key think tank which offers young people and others an opportunity to look at disruptions and to understand them and to be able to predict disruptions, but to mitigate again, to manage disruptions when they come and to recover quickly.
Yeah.
And then to grow. So it seemed a whole process,
Yeah.
but it is. And Jamaica has led the world in that.
Right.
And I mean, whatever else there is by way of legacy, that stands out, that Jamaica is the thought leader in the world on tourism resilience.
So not just to react, but to prepare for it in advance
Absolutely.
if something happens.
If you recall, in 2016, when I established the KPIs, at the 5x5x5,
Right.
that is to get 5 million visitors, around $5 billion in 5 years.
5 years, yeah.
And so we review all of that in 2020 after COVID. And so 2025 is the magic year. And just to report to the country on the performance of that KPI is that we now 4.3 arrivals, 4.3 billion US, and we're in the 4th year. So we're going into the 5th year, and we have 2,000 new rooms, and already we are reporting in terms of increased airlift. So we are on track to achieve our 5x5x5 in 25. So we say we're going to be alive.
We're going to be alive in 2025. In a real sense, this might sound strange to say, but to make Jamaica international.
Yes.
In all aspects.
And absolutely, but more importantly, to build the economy.
Build the economy.
Because the flow-through effect of the tourism dollar in the economy is heightened by the number of people who actually come into your destination.
Yeah.
Because they create demand. And that demand now is to be fulfilled by a myriad of economic activities in agriculture, in manufacturing, in transport, in health, in finance, in energy, you name it.
The
whole
picture. It's clear. That's clear that 2025 holds incredible potential for Jamaica, not just in terms of visitor arrivals, but also in sustainability, community development, and worker support.
And visitor spend.
And visitor spend.
Very important.
We thank you for watching as well. And until next time, I'm Theodore Henry. We were talking to Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Edmund Bartlett. Thank you for joining us on Get the Facts.
Remember, students, coming here on campus, even returning students, your security is your responsibility. Always remember that, please. From time to time, you will have police, campus patrol, and also that's a JCF police, and also local securities. Whenever you have to take taxis to come to campus, please ensure you get a glance of the license plate numbers. I have to be practical. At some points, you might not be able to get the license plate number because of the rush going into the vehicle, but please take note of your drivers. It is very important there.
This is where our journey ends, but only for today. Do join us again tomorrow and we'll bring another informative program. In the meantime, stay connected via our website, gis.gov.jm. And while you're online, send your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at gis.gov.jm or via X at JIS News. You may also find us on all the major social media platforms and through our mobile app that's Android and iOS compatible. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Walk good.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.